The excavation site on Kepler 442b stretched across the barren landscape like a wound in the planet's rust-colored surface. Professor Elena Vasquez knelt beside the crystalline structure, her gloved fingers tracing the intricate patterns that spiraled across its surface. The symbols pulsed with a faint blue light, responding to her touch in ways that defied conventional understanding of alien technology. Initial scans are complete, her research partner Marcus called out from across the dig site. His voice carried an edge of excitement that had become familiar over the past 3 months. The dating confirms it. This civilization vanished approximately 12,000 years ago. Elena stood, brushing the alien dust from her environmental suit. The discovery of the Kepler ruins had sent shockwaves through the scientific community. Here was proof that intelligent life had once thrived on this distant world, yet every trace of the beings themselves had mysteriously disappeared. No bodies, no personal artifacts, no indication of what had happened to them. Only their monumental structures remained, scattered across the planet's surface like tombstones marking a forgotten grave. "Have you finished translating the central chamber inscriptions?" Elena asked, joining Marcus at the main excavation platform. The chamber they had uncovered was vast, its walls covered in the same luminescent symbols they had found throughout the site. Marcus nodded grimly. "That's what I wanted to discuss with you. The translations are unsettling." He activated his portable holographic display, and the alien symbols materialized in the air between them. Beneath each symbol, human text appeared as the translation algorithm processed the meaning. The Ancient Ones, that's what they called themselves, left these inscriptions as a warning, Marcus explained. They describe a pattern they discovered in the cosmic record, a cycle that repeats across the galaxy. Elena leaned closer, reading the translated text. The words sent a chill through her despite the suit's climate control. The Ancient Ones had been advanced beyond anything humanity had yet achieved. Their technology could manipulate spacetime itself, bend the laws of physics to their will. Yet they had abandoned their world in apparent haste, leaving behind only this cryptic message. According to this, Elena said slowly, they identified a recurring phenomenon that affects developing civilizations. They called it the Silence Protocol. The translated records painted a terrifying picture. The Ancient Ones had detected a pattern in the galaxy's history. Civilizations would advance to a certain technological threshold, then suddenly vanish without explanation. Radio signals would cease, interstellar travel would stop, entire species would disappear as if they had never existed. The Ancient Ones had spent centuries studying this phenomenon, trying to understand its cause and mechanism. Look at this section, Marcus highlighted a particular passage. They identified specific markers that preceded each vanishing. Rapid technological advancement, development of artificial intelligence, achievement of faster-than-light travel, and most critically, the detection of what they called the Watchers. Elena's blood ran cold. 3 months ago, Earth's deep space monitoring arrays had detected unusual signals from the outer solar system, objects that moved with purpose, maintaining positions that defied natural orbital mechanics. The scientific community had dubbed them anomalous stellar phenomena, but the military had classified them under a different designation entirely. "The Watchers," she whispered. "They're describing the objects near Earth." Marcus nodded. The Ancient Ones believed the Watchers were some kind of automated system designed to monitor developing civilizations. When a species reached a certain level of technological sophistication, the Watchers would activate something they called the Harvest Protocol. The implications were staggering. If the Ancient Ones were correct, humanity was being observed, evaluated, and potentially marked for the same fate that had befallen countless other civilizations. The objects near Earth weren't random cosmic phenomena. They were sentinels, waiting for the right moment to act. "There's more," Marcus continued, his voice barely above a whisper. "The Ancient Ones discovered that the Watchers weren't the original architects of this system. They were themselves the remnants of a vanished civilization, programmed to continue an endless cycle of harvesting that had been going on for millions of years." Elena studied the final sections of the translation. The Ancient Ones had recognized their own approaching harvest and had made a desperate decision. Rather than wait for the Watchers to act, they had evacuated their world, scattering to the far reaches of the galaxy in small groups, hoping to evade detection. But they had left behind this warning, encoded in structures designed to last millennia, hoping that someday another species would find it and learn from their fate. They succeeded in escaping, Elena realized. That's why there are no bodies, no immediate traces of their disappearance. They saw it coming and ran. But they knew it wouldn't be enough, Marcus added. The final inscription describes their greatest fear, that the Watchers would eventually adapt, would find ways to detect and pursue refugee populations. They believed that every civilization faces the same choice: submit to the harvest or flee into the darkness between stars. Elena looked up at the alien sky, where two suns cast long shadows across the excavation site. Somewhere out there, Earth continued its orbit around Sol, unaware that ancient sensors were cataloging humanity's every technological advance. The development of quantum computers, the breakthrough in fusion energy, the first successful warp drive tests, all of it had been observed, recorded, and evaluated by machines older than human civilization. "We have to get this information back to Earth," she said. "If the Ancient Ones were right, humanity doesn't have much time left." Marcus was already packing the translation data into encrypted storage modules. "The question is whether our governments will listen, or whether they'll dismiss this as xenoarchaeological speculation." Elena took one last look at the crystalline chamber. The Ancient Ones had left their warning across 12 millennia of time, hoping that someone would understand and act upon it. Now that responsibility fell to humanity. The choice was the same one that had faced every civilization before them: fight an impossible battle against forces beyond comprehension, or abandon everything they had built and flee into the unknown. As their transport ship lifted off from the surface of Kepler 442b, Elena wondered which path humanity would choose. The Ancient Ones had survived by running, but survival wasn't the same as living. Somewhere in the galaxy, their descendants might still exist, perpetual refugees in the cosmic dark. The warning had been delivered. Now it was up to humanity to decide how to use it.